Hello, everyone. Wanted to spend a quick moment going over what's going to happen in my surgery. I've been getting a lot of amazing texts and calls of concerned people trying to figure out what's happening. So I'd like to spend a few minutes explaining the difference between my heart and a standard heart, which I call normal heart, and what will happen to me, and then what will happen after the surgery. And before I start, I'd like to say a big thanks to everyone that has donated to our GoFundMe for my recovery. I am deeply humbled by even having to ask for this type of support, and I'm very grateful for the people that actually have um, donated. And if you're not able to donate, I completely understand. I've been in those situations before, but I just ask for you to pray for me. Uh, okay. So here's the breakdown. I'm sharing my screen. It's a very simple situation. I'm trying to dumb it down as much as I can, and then I'll start showing you some real heart pictures. But your heart's based in four chambers for standard heart. You have two top atriums, a right and a left. The bottom part of your heart are the ventricles, the right and left ventricles you can see right here. And then for this demo, we're not going to be talking about the pulmonary or aortic valves that handle in the middle that go out to the body. We're talking about when it comes in from the lungs and comes in from the body on the tricuspid valve side. So as you can see in this visual, your your normal right ventricle is a lot smaller in size than your left ventricle. And your mitral valve is connected to your left ventricle, while your tricuspid valve is connected to your right ventricle. And the blood comes from the lungs, goes through your mitral valve, left atrium, mitral valve, left ventricle, out to your body. And then it comes from the body into your right atrium, goes through the tricuspid valve to your right ventricle. And it doesn't need to be as big. The right ventricle doesn't need to be as big as the left ventricle because it's all the oxygenated blood is gone. And now we'll go back to the lungs and restart the process over and over. So with the left side of a standard heart, the left ventricle is a lot larger due to the oxygenated blood. And the mitral valve is designed where it can handle your blood pressure, like the actual force of your blood with oxygenated blood, while your tricuspid valve is designed to handle your blood when it's not oxygenated. So it's lesser pressure. So the heart has evolved to where the ventricle on the right is a lot smaller. So this is a standard heart based on my conversation with you. Now, if I scroll over to my body, to my heart, when I was born, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. That way you can see a kind of a comparison and keep the idea of what is a little different. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Okay. So remember the normal heart. My heart, the normal right ventricle is actually my left ventricle. And the normal left ventricle, the bigger one, is now my right. So when the blood comes from the lungs through the left atrium, it actually goes through the tricuspid valve into my left ventricle now. And it goes out to the body. And then once it comes back from the body, it goes through my right atrium, going through the mitral valve. And now it goes into my oversized, for what it needs to be, right ventricle. So what does this mean for me? What this means for me is that the tricuspid valve is not designed to handle the amount of pressure that oxygenated blood comes through the body. And the normal right ventricle, which is my left now, is a lot smaller, and it's become enlarged and enlarged throughout time, but it's still functioning. But now my tricuspid valve, which is normally your mitral valve, is failing. I'm in a stage of heart failure where the muscle is no longer functioning properly, not closing properly. So there's standard symptoms that are shortness of breath, not able to do activities, barely able to breathe at certain points. And if I don't have the surgery, then it will be a fatal situation for me. But so the surgery will be to where they will remove my tricuspid valve and put a mechanical mitral valve in its place. And one of the concerns is this will start to handle the full pressure. Currently, it's been leaking. The tricuspid valve's been leaking all my life because it can't handle all the pressure. Now with the mechanical valve, this will be expected job as a normal left ventricle, but mine will still be this size. It's not going to be the same size. So it's going to get enlarged. And during my recovery, they're going to have to closely monitor my left ventricle, which is really your right ventricle's size, to where it doesn't fail or collapse. So once they put in the mechanical mitral valve, that's a obvious feat in itself, and it's a very difficult surgery. This type of surgery is quite rare to have when you have heart defects. My L transposition of the great arteries is one of the rarest defects you can have and still live to an adult life. Previously, when I was born, they didn't have many records of people like me living quite long. But now with modern medicine, it's gotten to where we can kind of live somewhat normal lengths of life with medical intervention. But once the surgery's over, I will have two mitral valves, and we will closely have to monitor my left ventricle. We don't have to worry about the pulmonary aortic valves. They'll be fine. They'll take care of themselves. We don't have to worry about the right atrium or left atrium. We won't have to worry about my oversized right ventricle, which is normally your left ventricle. We have to worry about this ventricle either failing or not functioning. I'm not going to go into what would happen if things went bad, but my team of doctors are very confident that everything will actually do well, and the left ventricle of mine will actually last quite a while. If you want to see an actual standard rendition picture of what they've drawn it as, this is a normal heart. It comes through the lungs, through the mitral valve, into the standard left ventricle, out to the body. The red is the flow here. And then the deoxygenated blood comes into the right atrium, into a standard right ventricle, through the tricuspid valve, through the pulmonary valve, out to the lungs, and then just recycles itself. So I'm not going to go into all the detail ever, but here's another example of a normal heart. Here's my heart, a drawing of it, to where that's the left atrium. This is my, we just put it like this is a normal right ventricle. That's the right atrium that you would have, and then this is your normal left ventricle. It's quite confusing when you think about it. But the best way I try to explain it is that my two ventricles are switched, and when they switched, the valves went the other ways, and the tricuspid valve is not designed to handle all the pressure coming from the lungs, and that is failing. So this key piece right here is the piece, the tricuspid, which will now be my mechanical mitral valve. And that's it. I wanted to explain that to you all because a lot of people are asking what's happening. That's it in a quick, simplified nutshell. There's a little bit more to it. The amount of surgeries that this happens a year in this region, probably less than a dozen, maybe a little bit more. But there are thousands of open heart surgeries in this region alone. But with my situation and the delicacy of my heart, you could probably count them on your hands. So that's it. The surgery will take probably several hours, 5 or 6 hours, and we're having it done at CMC Maine. with the Sanger Clinic. I've been with them since '88, so they're pretty well versed in my heart. Thank you.